Have you ever sat in a quiet room, no one else around, and felt like the silence was just a little too loud? It's not just the absence of noise, it's the echo of memories. The weight of mornings without someone to say, "Good morning," to. The cup of tea poured for one instead of two. Growing older alone is something no one prepares us for. They talk about retirement plans, medications, and wills, but they rarely talk about the lonely evenings, the empty chairs, the long stretches of quiet that come not with peace, but with a deep ache. But let me tell you something. Being alone doesn't mean you had to feel lonely. And growing older doesn't mean you had to grow colder or smaller or invisible. In fact, this chapter of life, your chapter, can be one of the richest, most meaningful, most you moments you've ever had. Because here's the truth. You are not done. You are still needed. And most of all, you still matter. In this video, we're going to explore 6 powerful daily habits that can help you rediscover joy, purpose, and connection, even if you live alone, even if life feels quiet. These aren't just tips, they're tools, they're lifelines, they're little choices that create a big difference emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So before we begin, I want to ask you something from the heart. If this video speaks to you, if you've ever felt a little lost, a little forgotten, or just want to make your days brighter and stronger, please subscribe to our channel Daily Elder Advice and turn on the bell. Every video is created with love and deep care for people just like you. And your support means the world to us truly. Now, take a deep breath, lean in a little closer, and let's begin this journey together, because you're not alone anymore. Chapter 1. Create a daily routine that anchors you to life. As we age, time seems to change its shape. Without jobs, children to raise, or urgent deadlines, the day no longer pushes us forward, it waits, quietly. And for many older adults living alone, that silence can become a trap. Days blur together, morning turns to evening with little fanfare. The result, a slow unraveling of purpose. But here's what decades of research in gerontology and neuroscience confirm. Having a structured daily routine is not just a nice idea, it's essential to mental health, cognitive sharpness, emotional stability, and even longevity. A consistent routine helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which improves sleep and mood. It also reduces decision fatigue, the exhausting feeling of constantly figuring out what to do next. Most importantly, it creates a sense of momentum, a reason to move, a rhythm that grounds you. From my years of observing seniors across different cultures, I've seen one common thread. Those who thrive in solitude are those who live with structure, not drift. Their days are not dictated by boredom but by intentionality. Their lives may be quiet, but never meaningless. Illustrative story, Robert and the Rhythms of Resilience. Robert was 76 when his wife of 52 years passed away. A retired engineer, he was no stranger to schedules, order, and logic, but nothing prepared him for the chaos of loneliness. At first, he tried to fill the space with television and snacks. He would wake up at noon, skip meals, and spend entire afternoons flipping channels, wondering why he felt more tired than ever. Without her, time feels heavy, he once confessed. One morning, after waking at 11 a.m. and realizing he couldn't remember what day it was, something snapped. He got up, opened his old notebook, and wrote 3 things. Wake up at 7, walk 10 minutes, call someone at 4. That was the beginning of his comeback. Within weeks, Robert had built a gentle but sturdy daily routine. Mornings began with a walk in the park and a homemade breakfast. Afternoons were for reading or puzzles. Evenings included journaling and a short phone call to a friend or his daughter. It wasn't glamorous, but it was real, and it was his. 6 months later, he described his life not as lonely, but quietly full. He had taken control of time, and with that, he took control of his peace. There is something profoundly healing about waking up with purpose, even a small one. A routine isn't about cramming your day with tasks. It's about reclaiming authorship of your time. It says to the world, I'm still here. I still care. I still choose. So start simple. Wake up at the same time each day. Eat meals at regular hours. Walk when the sun rises. Play music before dinner. Create rituals that feel like anchors in the ocean of time. Because when life feels unsteady, your routine becomes your rhythm. And rhythm is the heartbeat of joy. Chapter 2. Prioritize physical movement, even in stillness. Let the body flow. The human body was never designed for stillness. Evolution shaped us to move, to walk, lift, stretch, dance, reach, and explore. Yet in the stillness of old age, especially when one lives alone, our days become smaller, quieter, and often dangerously sedentary. And here lies a quiet, creeping threat: muscle atrophy, joint stiffness, decreased balance, and faster cognitive decline. Medical science has proven that lack of movement after age 60 accelerates aging dramatically, not just physically, but neurologically. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, begins around age 50 and worsens rapidly if we stop moving. And it's not just about frailty. It impacts immunity, metabolism, brain function, and independence. But here's the good news. You don't need to become a fitness fanatic to protect your body. What your body craves is consistency, not intensity. From my years speaking with centenarians, there's one golden thread. They all kept moving. Every single day, whether it was tending a garden, walking to the mailbox, or dancing alone in the kitchen, they refused to let stillness steal their strength. Think of every step you take, every stretch you hold, every rise from a chair not just as exercise, but as a message to your body that you're still living, still fighting, still present. When you move, your body responds. It sends oxygen to your brain, oils your joints, and resets your mood. It brings you out of your head and into the present moment, away from overthinking, away from sadness. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a gym. What you need is to respect your body enough to let it feel alive. Try this. Walk 5 minutes after breakfast. Do gentle stretches while the kettle boils. Stand up every hour and swing your arms. Try simple chair exercises with soft music in the background. And above all, make movement joyful, not a punishment, but a privilege. Every time you choose movement over stillness, you're choosing life. You're choosing strength over weakness, clarity over confusion, vitality over resignation. The body is a miracle machine. It repairs, adapts, and grows stronger when you honor it with attention. So if you've been sitting for too long today, stand up. Even now, roll your shoulders, stretch your arms, wiggle your fingers and toes. Let your body know, I haven't given up on you. Because the body that moves is the body that heals. And healing, at any age, is always possible. Chapter 3. Stay socially engaged, rebuilding connection in a quiet world. Loneliness isn't about the absence of people. It's about the absence of connection, the feeling of being seen, heard, and valued. And sadly, for older adults, especially those living alone, this kind of isolation can creep in quietly and root itself deeply. Multiple studies now confirm social isolation in seniors increases the risk of premature death by nearly 30%. It rivals smoking, obesity, and sedentary living as a major health risk. Chronic loneliness is linked to depression, cognitive decline, high blood pressure, and even Alzheimer's disease. But here's what many don't realize. Staying socially engaged is not about being the life of the party. It's about finding small but meaningful moments of connection and making them a habit. Whether through a phone call, a shared laugh with a neighbor, or a kind comment on a community post, human contact is medicine. It fuels the heart, sharpens the mind, and reminds you that you're part of a greater story. From my years speaking with seniors across different countries, I've learned one truth: connection is a choice, and so is silence. Imagine a room filled with old photo albums, soft music in the background, and memories dancing in the air, but no one to share them with. That's the ache many feel after a spouse passes, friends move away, or adult children become too busy to visit. But even in this silence, you have power. You can pick up the phone. You can wave at the mail carrier. You can join a walking group. You can send an email to your niece. You can post a thoughtful message online or write letters to people you love. The mistake many make is waiting for others to reach out first. But sometimes, the people who love us most don't know how to enter our world of grief or solitude. They don't know we need them unless we say so. You don't need a crowd. You need a few souls who care and the courage to seek them. Try this. Make a habit of one social interaction each day. A call, a comment, a shared meal. Join an online club or community based on your interests: gardening, books, faith, or even classic movies. Volunteer for a cause, even virtually. Being needed by others is a powerful antidote to loneliness. Reconnect with old friends. Sometimes a simple, "I was thinking of you," is enough to open a door again. Social connection is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. Even if you live alone, even if your world has grown smaller, you are still part of something bigger. The web of human experience is wide, and it's never too late to weave yourself back into it. So reach out, say hello, let your presence be known. Because when you connect, you remind yourself and others, "I still have something to give." And someone, somewhere, is waiting for exactly the kind of warmth only you can bring. Chapter 4. Keep your mind stimulated, protecting your inner world. The mind is a living garden, complex, fertile, and capable of growing beautiful thoughts at any age. But like any garden, it withers without care. And for older adults, especially those living in quiet solitude, mental stimulation isn't just important, it's essential. Cognitive decline doesn't happen overnight. It begins subtly: forgotten appointments, misplaced keys, or losing the thread of a conversation. But it accelerates rapidly in the absence of mental engagement. Studies from the Alzheimer's Association show that seniors who keep their minds active reduce their risk of dementia by up to 35%. But here's the uplifting truth: your brain, like your muscles, gets stronger with use. And you don't need to study calculus or memorize poetry to stay sharp. You just need to stay curious. Curious minds stay alive. In my years of studying longevity and well-being, one thing stands out: the elders who remain mentally vibrant are those who treat learning not as a duty, but as a joy. They know that to stop learning is to start shrinking. Think back to when you were younger. Remember the excitement of discovering a new recipe, the wonder of reading a good book, the pleasure of learning how to use a new gadget or mastering a card game. Those feelings don't expire with age. They're still inside you, waiting to be reawakened. Mental stimulation doesn't have to be complicated. Read one chapter of a book each morning. Try puzzles or crosswords while sipping tea. Take an online course on something you've always been curious about: history, photography, even gardening. Write in a journal, not to document your life, but to understand it better. Learn a new word in another language each day. Watch a documentary and ask yourself, what surprised me? What matters most is engagement. A brain that is engaged is a mind that resists decline and finds daily joy in the process. And don't underestimate conversation. Deep, thoughtful discussions with others, even just once a week, can spark parts of the brain that no book or screen ever could. Inside you is a thinker, a dreamer, a learner, and they're still awake. They just need a reason to stretch. Stimulating your mind each day is not just about avoiding disease. It's about honoring your intelligence. It's about discovering that your inner world can be just as rich as any outer experience. So challenge your thinking, feed your curiosity, learn something today, not because you must, but because you can. Because the day you stop being curious is the day your world starts shrinking. But if you choose to stay mentally alive, your world, no matter how quiet, will never feel small. Chapter 5. Practice gratitude and daily reflection, reframing solitude with peace and purpose. As we grow older, the list of things we've lost tends to grow: loved ones, youth, energy, roles we once played. It's easy, almost natural, to focus on those voids. But neuroscience has shown something truly remarkable. The human brain is wired to reframe experience. And gratitude is the switch that changes the entire view. In fact, research from leading psychology centers shows that just 5 minutes of daily gratitude journaling can rewire neural pathways, boost serotonin, reduce cortisol, and improve sleep. Seniors who regularly reflect on what they are thankful for report lower levels of depression and loneliness. But gratitude isn't a naive denial of hardship. It's not about ignoring grief or pretending everything is fine. It's about choosing to notice what still brings light, even in the shadow. Reflection adds another layer. When we take time to process our emotions, to sit quietly with our thoughts, we invite clarity. We listen inwardly instead of drowning in outside noise. Over the years, I've spoken with elders who have survived war, poverty, loss, and exile, and yet, many of them still smile. Why? Because they learned this secret. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, it transcends it. There's a quiet kind of wisdom that only reveals itself when the world becomes still, when there are no more meetings to attend, no more lunches to pack, no more voices filling the house. In that silence, you meet yourself again, not the busy version of you from years past, but the deeper one, the soul that has weathered loss, change, and time. And it's in these moments that gratitude finds its voice, not as a performance, not as a list of things you're supposed to feel thankful for, but as a soft awareness. I'm still here. I still have breath. I still get to witness this day. Maybe the tea is warm. Maybe the breeze feels gentle on your skin. Maybe an old song stirs a memory that makes you smile through your tears. These are sacred moments, and when you make time each day to reflect, whether through journaling, prayer, watching the sunrise, or simply sitting with your thoughts, you begin to transform loneliness into presence. You begin to see that solitude isn't the absence of life, but the space where life becomes visible again. Your days no longer slip by unnoticed. Instead, they begin to feel intentional. And in that quiet noticing, healing begins, not because pain disappears, but because you remember that joy and sorrow can exist side by side. And both are part of what makes your story beautiful. Takeaway message: choose light, even in the dusk. In the later chapters of life, we can either chase after what's gone or cherish what remains. Gratitude doesn't mean life is perfect. It means you stop waiting for it to be. It means your heart is still open, still searching for beauty, even in a cracked world. So take a moment today, pause, breathe, and whisper, "Thank you." Because when you practice gratitude and reflection daily, you stop surviving and start truly living. Even in solitude, you become surrounded by meaning. Chapter 6. Help others daily: the surprising cure for loneliness. It might seem counterintuitive when you're feeling lonely, sad, or invisible. The last thing your mind suggests is giving. And yet, research shows that helping others is one of the most powerful ways to restore your own sense of purpose, connection, and joy. Studies from the University of Michigan and Harvard have shown that seniors who engage in even modest acts of service, whether volunteering, mentoring, or simply offering emotional support, report lower rates of depression, reduced blood pressure, and increased life satisfaction. Giving, it turns out, doesn't just help others, it heals you. But here's the real magic. Helping others reminds you that you still have something to offer. That your wisdom, time, presence, and kindness are still valuable. In a world that often overlooks the elderly, service becomes a declaration. I am still here, and I still matter. There's a quiet dignity in knowing you've made someone else's day lighter. It doesn't have to be grand: a phone call to check in on a neighbor, a home-cooked meal delivered to someone grieving, a letter said to an old friend, a smile offered to the lonely stranger at the park. Helping others is not just about charity. It's about rediscovering your role in the human story. You spend a lifetime gaining insight, love, endurance, and stories. Why not share them? Many older adults feel disconnected not because no one wants to hear from them, but because they stopped believing they're worth listening to. But here's the truth: your life has depth others can learn from. Younger generations need mentors. Communities need elders with steady hands and calm voices. Even from your living room, even if your body is slowing down, you can send encouragement, share wisdom, offer prayers, listen deeply. These are not small things. In fact, in a world starved for empathy, they're everything. You don't help others because you've got it all together. You help because you remember what it feels like to fall apart, and you know how to hold space for others in their pain. And in doing so, your loneliness transforms, it softens, it becomes connection. Helping others is a daily reminder that life is still flowing through you, that your kindness is still needed, your experience still relevant, your story still unfolding. When you wake up each morning, ask yourself, who can I serve today? Who needs to hear a kind word? Receive a small gesture, feel seen, even just for a moment. Because in giving to others, you give yourself the greatest gift of all: a renewed sense of identity, a daily purpose, and a heart that stays open even when life feels quiet. In the end, loneliness dissolves not through what we get, but through what we give. If you've stayed with me until now, take a deep breath and truly Thank you. You and I may never meet, but I want you to know this. Your life, even in its quietest hours, is still unfolding, still teaching, still reaching for something beautiful. Being alone does not mean being forgotten. Solitude is not a sentence, it can be a sanctuary. And even in stillness, you have the power to create rhythm, purpose, and joy. Every day you wake up is a day you can shape, with the routine you choose, the steps you take, the people you reach out to, the thoughts you nourish, the memories you cherish, and the kindness you give away. Don't wait for someone else to bring meaning to your life. You are the author of this chapter. And believe me, it can be your most powerful one yet. Because you've lived, you've endured, you've learned, and now, you have the chance to live on purpose. So as we end today's video, I leave you with this question. Which of these 6 habits will you start tomorrow morning, not just to pass the time, but to reclaim it? If this message resonated with your heart, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment below, and most of all, subscribe to our channel, Daily Elder Advice. Every week, we create videos to support your journey.